You gonna all I want to that you will love me. Now back in the ground. You call the song is a maiden that you really love me. That's all the thought. The truth of so the outsider. Say the days of all these. The soul of something the fighter. Why should this story? I choose a song in the later that you really love me. That all at the door does. It's the truth. Welcome, guys. Now, I know this may seem a odd podcast, coming away, but one most people think that why is music so important? You can go 1,000 different ways how you really want to spin it, but I definitely think that from I definitely think when I was about 6, 7, 8 years old at the time, and being at the everyone knows that little cliche that people tell you, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I didn't really thought of that far. Oh, I'm going to be a doctor. Oh, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be a lawyer. I thought, well, listen to music really, you know, the old parents cliche music is like knowledge, and this person would say that it would be it's like being in boot camp, and I was like, parents would say that, they're gonna set me straight, they're gonna set me in boot camp. But I think music was kind of like that was the the way to. I mean, if I tell you guys a funny story, I was kind of like in a rock and a hard place because I didn't have like a hobby starting out with. And this is a legit story. I used to carry this a bucket, and I used to collect rocks that were like on sidewalks, roadways, wherever. And I thought, yeah, it's you know, well, this is quite odd. I'm thinking this back in my head. Was this do I really want to keep doing this for the rest of my life, collecting rocks? And once I was like, I'm going to turn my focus into music. And, it was kind of like off the races we went. And I remember seeing our old house. This was like many years ago. And I see just pots and pans, and I will just beat the snot out of them so from her. I was like, I would pull them out. I was way young at the time. I was 6, 7, 8 years old at the time. I would walk into her kitchen and I see like that open up the drawers, and this is kind of like my uh, introduction into music, and something to do to pass the time because I would pull out all the pots and pans in our house, and I will just like hit them like I'm playing like bongo drums, and my parents were just like, okay, we're gonna put them in they were hearing this like just like I was just like hit them like so hard. I was just like, wow. I was just uh, maybe I was just like I felt like I was in a band. I was just hitting the drums, and I remember my parents just say, okay, we're gonna set them straight. We're gonna put them in. I remember as I was like. And it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna set our son straight. We're rolling in band class. And I was like, cool. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I remember being in band class. I remember first day walking in and knowing I'm gonna be a percussion. I'm saying like, wow. I was just like this is like something that and I I'm saying this because I know the sound of voice. I know the parents have really the because truth be told, I guess being enrolled in band class really opened my music doors, and a wise teacher once said to me, "You have to take baby steps," and I took that advice to heart, and but look where I am today. I'm still here. So I remember walking into band class and all that percussion. I was just like, oh my god! I was just like seeing the drums, the congos, and all that. I was just like, this is like right in my wheelhouse, and I was just, and I'm being shown how to play drums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm thinking like, I'm like, okay, I didn't need like to take a course. I mean, literally, because drums at first I'm thinking like, but now as I kind of pick up a little more steam and my very first music time. I was way little. I was just like, oh my god. And I'm listening to early Metallica, and I listened to Sabbath True the first time, and it was my parents at the time. One of them said, like, "Hey, come listen to this song by Metallica," and I was just like, "Wow!" I was just like, my mind was didn't really. I didn't get a read on who Metallica was because I was such a newbie. I was just like, wow, who is this band Metallica? I was just so fixated. I was just like, so I would. So I would spend hours every day researching Metallica. I was just so wooed uh, at the band. And I was just like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is kind of like, you know, I kind of jumped in with both feet, and I was like, okay, this is, this could lead me to uh, bigger things. And I was researching the band Metallica, and I'm reading the history. Oh, they had Jason Newsted. Oh, they had Cliff Burton. Cliff Burton, to me, hands down, was a legit guitarist. And his career as a musician was so good. I mean, you listen to his early work and definitely the interview that Beats on the radio that all the guys were talking. They talked about, and when they had mentioned Cliff Burton, I was just like, I was just like so like, oh my god. And then mentioning Cliff Burton's name, I was just like, what? I got so emotional. Just knowing that the guys talk when they mentioned Cliff Burton because he was so instrumental about the band, about his time with the band. But his time with the band was so good, but it kind of it was cut short due to the bus accident where they were in Europe. And I remember the day like it was yesterday. Metallica uh, uh, bass Cliff Burton has passed away due to a bus accident. They were because the bus that Metallica was in, and it kind of there was so much ice on the road, and I was saying like, oh, the MTV icon who did a whole piece on Metallica, and they talked about the bus accident that claimed the life of Cliff Burton, and it was just like it was such a darkest day for the band Metallica, and Metallica was just like they didn't know what to do. I thought they were, but luckily Jason Newsted, who came to life on Metallica, man, he saw that when an opportunity, he had to step in, or he was stepped aside. But his time with Jason, time with Metallica was just. I mean, he was kind of like a savior, but unfortunately, the icon that ran the piece that Jason Newsted himself was so fixated that he was working on his Echobrand record, and we all know how that story ended up. And he was kind of like, well, if I can't do what I want to do, I'll step off. And he said to Metallica during the Into the Icon piece that was just like, well, okay, Cliff Burner has just passed away. Jason Newsted was getting effed off because he couldn't do what he wanted to do outside Metallica because either you're in or you're out. And he was working on his Echobrand record. And I remember the day. It was just like what Jason Newsted was in Metallica, and he was working on Echobrand record. That was like his baby. And we all know how Jason Newsted's time with Metallica, and it was just like, oh my god. So he virtually got booted from the band, and then steps in Robert Trujillo of Ozzy Osbourne fame, and I definitely think Robert Trujillo really carried the torch that was passed on down from uh, the legacy, the life of Cliff Burton, because he was, you know, but there was a time when I was still going to school, and I remember this moment in time. We were all in the library. It was computer class, and our computer teacher at a time, which she said to us, whoever gets their assignment done, printed out, you can have free computer time. Which, luckily for me, I had my computer assignment done. And I was like, oh, okay, you can have free computer time. I was like, yeah, music time. And everybody was kind of like effed off at me. And they were saying, well, how does he get to do that? And I'm listening to music wherever. I was just like in my own little, in my own little. I was so fixated because I was listening to music of whoever I can get my hands on, and everybody looked at me, thought I was a joke because of music that became my life, and and they all looked, and my own classmates, my own school. I mean, how effing ridiculous is that? I mean, I was so effed off because of my experience listening to music. I was listening to music left, right, and center in my own high school, and everybody was like, you know, they see that of who I really am, and they in their yearbook they messed with the round bowl, and what they wrote under my name, saying, "Oh, I have this announcing voice. This is who I am. This is my voice. I talk the way however I feel. I don't have this big announcing voice. It's just the way I was brought up. And now my voice has gone deeper, darker, because I grew up way faster. And music today, and James Hetfield said, I quote, music is a way for me to speak because back then, when the push comes to shove, I couldn't speak without music because I had a learning disability. I was made the class clown of our old high school. So when I turned to music, I never thought your old high school students, my own high school students in our old town church bridge provoked me effed in their own Cheerios. I was getting to the point. I was like, I need to get out of this town. I was so effed off about everybody in my own school. Not all of them, but two of them individuals who have always, I know to this day, they wouldn't turn their back on me. Because what is the true definition of a true friend? For anybody out there that's listened to this podcast, right? Definition of true friend is that they're always there for you whenever you need. They don't turn your back and stab a knife in you so hard. It's kind of like that song by Saint and Sonia. Let me live my life. I'm scared of a face and the mirror. If I can go right now, I can go out the walls just to. Definitely, I was the one that was being bullied. And we all know how that went. And seeing, band classes one day, there's one individual that's not going to be named because he doesn't want to be mentioned. He was the one that kept provoking. For anybody who doesn't know what the term provoke another person is, when you keep provoking the same person every so often, chances are the person's gonna strike back, or you're gonna get it. And this person sitting next to me, and I told him to stop, and he wouldn't listen. So I got our teacher, our band teacher, to stop him. So the majority is take matters in their own hands. And I know some people will say, "Oh, that's an assault." Well, what would you do if somebody you're in a meeting somewhere and somebody is provoking you? Doesn't matter where you are. What are you supposed to do? For me, well, I couldn't get up and walk away because I'm in class. Can't get the teacher to stop it because chances are people today in a school they don't care because they like making your person look so mad till they don't know why because if a person growing up was saying, well, don't provoke anybody, don't get the other person upset. And what does this person did? Doesn't listen, doesn't give a hoot, doesn't give a about, well, I don't care. I'm gonna provoke this guy. Well, chances are this person, I was so mad that I was just waiting, just waiting to strike. Now somebody will say, "Well, you knowing that I had band class the next day, and I'm laying in bed the previous night, and I'm thinking, wow, did the thinking what you're gonna do? Uh, you know, sometimes when push comes to shove, the person gonna get it, and we all know how that went, but and everybody afterwards were they knew if you provoke me, you better run for the hills. But I definitely think music from the time I was at a young age to now. I'm listening to all different bands from all different walks of life, and bands that I have listened to, and it's kind of like you saying those. It's like medicine. It's what fuels you up every day. Now, before I let you guys run off, what is the one song that really hypes you up, gives you gets you ready for that big day? I have to say, Ardine's "Die Trying," and we all know how that song went and how it became such a part of my life because seeing the band Argentine, phenomenal band, good old Canadian boys of Vancouver. My initial reaction, I was like, "Who's this Argentine band from Vancouver?" Oh, from Johnny Hamilton. I was so fixated about this band Argentine. I was just like, God dang! And hearing the track get through this like the very first time, I was just like, I remember I mentioned to my parents, I was like, wow, you should hear about this band Argentine. Get through this, and from Johnny Hasselton, and he had his version of the band, but as that was from their subtitle album, and listen to the band Art Dying, my head was scratching. I was just like, and knowing that this band who was signed to Disturb, which god dang, Disturb, Dad Dog and David Draymond. You got those two guys were like so attached to the hip, and they had their own record label, and they took this band Dying, legit story. This band Dying, under their own wing, managed and brought them up to speed, and their self-titled album that they put out was kind of like their way into the music world. Because bands today are starting out like they are dying. They had to really kind of made a mark. And once I heard that the band has kind of regrouped, Johnny has recruited Tavis Stanley, Kilgonte, former members of Thornley, Ian Thornley's group, and Greg Bradley, who I think was co-founded the band, and drummer Jeff Brown. And, when they redid some of their big hits, like Get Through This, but when I heard Die Trying, I was like, that was kind of like just hearing like the updated version. I was just like, God dang, that just blew me away. And literally, when I heard "Die Trying" by her dying the first time, I was like, God dang. It really, literally brought me back to my years growing up and knowing that this is of all the negativity that was presented to me and the way I was put through, Die Trying was just kind of like it woke me up from the inside. And literally, I had to, like, you know, step up in life where you get stepped aside. Now, literally, when I saw the band the second time, because when I saw them first at Rock on the Ranch 2010 or 2011, but seeing them the second time, you're quite familiar with the band's work, and having their song "Die Trying" dedicated to me, I'm saying, God dang, I was just, oh God, so bloody emotional, and I'm thinking, like, because I've been through so much SHIT throughout my life, and knowing that many years later, having the band Art Dying dedicate Die Trying to me, because the Art Dying is my life to live. The Art Dying is my life to live.